Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Family Music Night, which is made possible by the generous support of Suzanne and Glenn Youngkin. I'm Jennifer Edelin, Director of Wolf Trap Institute for Early Learning Through the Arts, which is a program of Wolf Trap Foundation for the Performing Arts. We are a nonprofit performing arts organization located just outside of Washington, D.C. Wolf Trap is committed to education, and the Institute works to give young children joyful, active learning experiences through the arts. And to help us do that today, we are joined by two Wolf Trap master teaching artists, Christina Farrell and Kofi Dennis. They are going to lead us tonight as we sing, learn, and play together. Before I turn it over to Kofi and Christina, I want to go over a few housekeeping items. We will be recording tonight's event so we can share it with families who weren't able to join us tonight. We will also email you once it's available so that you can watch it again or you can share it with your friends and family. As you can see, we've disabled participant video so that only our presenters will be captured on video. But we encourage you to sing and dance along with Kofi and Christina from wherever you are, and share your questions and ideas via the chat. At the end of today's event, we'll also ask for your feedback on your experience. Lastly, we invite teachers, school administrators, and teaching artists to stay on with us after tonight's session from 6:30 to 7 for a special session for educators. During this session, Christina and Kofi will share how educators can use experiences that you'll see tonight in the classroom. So let's get started. I'll now turn it over to Kofi Dennis. Kofi?
Thank you, Jennifer, and thank you all for joining. Well, we're going to share some very basic and fun way of using high voice and low voice, rhythm and steady beat, and also melody. Okay, so for my for my song, I'm going to use my xylophone to help me pitch high or low voice. Okay. Hey, hey, look at me. I am singing. Can you see? Well, you're going to need a lot of instruments if you do have one to do steady beat, okay? So whilst I'm doing this, you want to make sure you have something to strike for a steady beat, something to shake, or something to tap. It's all about steady beat, okay? So now give me the beat and let me sing my song one more time. Hey, hey, look at me. I am clapping. Can you see? Oh, I feel like dancing. Hey, hey, look at me. I am dancing. Can you see? I bet you want to jump, right? Hey, hey, look at me. I am jumping. Can you see? So that's a steady beat, and you can clap the rhythm along. Hey, hey, look at me. I am clapping. Can you see? Well, I want to teach you a different song. This is a song that I grew up with, and Ghana, West Africa, and it's called Two-Way, okay? It's just a rhythmic game, all right? So here, let's see. Okay, steady beat. Two-way, two-way. Two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. You got that? That's a high one. And then we're going to do the low sound one, okay? Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. two-way, two-way, very much two-way, 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 very much two-way, two-way, very much two-way, two-way, very much two-way, two-way. Oh, let's pretend we are picking apples for the high sound. Here we go. Two-way, two-way, very much two-way, 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 two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Uh-oh, pick them from the ground. Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Up high. Two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Down low. Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Very much two-way, two-way. Hey, very much two-way, two-way. Hey, very much two-way, two-way. And I'm going to pass it on to Christina. She has some more for you. Christina, take it away.
There we go. Thank you, Kofi. That was wonderful. So much fun. So I have another song to welcome us all together. And this song uses steady beat, just like Kofi's song. So steady beat is an even pulse that we keep. And it's really important because it helps us speak and read fluently. So we want to keep steady beat a lot. And to help me keep my steady beat, I have Redbird. And Redbird can also clap with her little wings. All right, so get your wings up and we'll keep that steady beat. We're gonna start with a slow one. Clap with me. I can clap and you can too. This is the way. I can clap and you can too. This is the way. A little faster. Now we're clapping. This is the way. Now we're clapping. This is the way. And stop. Stand up. Get your wings. We're going to flap. Here we go. I can flap and you can too. This is the way. I can flap and you can too. This is the way. Now we're flapping. This is the way. Now we're flapping. This is the way. And stop. Redbird sometimes will jump along. So let's jump with our steady beat. We're going to start slow. Here we go. I can jump and you can too. This is the way. I can jump and you can too. This is the way. Now faster. Now we're jumping. This is the way. Now we're jumping. This is the way. And freeze. Last one. Redbird pecks with her little beak. So we are going to peck with our whole body. On a steady beat, here we go. I can peck and you can too. This is the way. I can peck and you can too. This is the way. Now we're pecking. This is the way. Now we're pecking. This is the way. And stop. Sit down. Good job. All right, so Redbird helped us to keep a steady beat in that song, and now she's got to go because Kofi has a story, and she may appear again in that story.
Thank you, Christina. That was so fun. Whew. Well, my friends, one of my favorite books to share is Brown Bear, Brown Bear. And by Bill Martin Jr. and Eric Carr. And in this book, of course, among so many others, but this is my favorite. In this book, what I'm going to share with you is steady beat, right? And rhythm, okay? Steady beat and rhythm at the same time, because guess what? There's so many interesting characters in the book. And as Christina said, steady beat is an even pulse. It could be slow or fast. So for example, if you're singing about brown bear and you want to be the character of a brown bear, of course, your steady beat is going to slow down, right? How about the birdie? If the birdie, this thing is flapping, then maybe the steady beat is going to go faster. All right, well, let's get into it. And we're going to use the tune of Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star to sing through this, okay? Where is my story box? Woohoo! I have my story box. Guess what comes out first? All right, let's see. Uh-oh. There it is. You want to pet it? You want to pet my brown bear? Okay. Da, 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 da. Ready? You have your steady beat? Okay, here we go. 1, 2, here we sing. Brown bear, what do you see? Uh-oh, there it is. I see a red bird looking at me. Red bird, what do you see? I see a yellow duck looking at me. So you notice that we're using steady beat all throughout, but now we're going to clap the rhythms, okay? All the syllables, okay? Yellow duck, what do you see? I see a blue horse looking at me. Blue horse, what do you see? I see a green frog looking at me. Uh-oh, you want to drum like the froggy? Here we go. Green frog, what do you see? I see a purple cat looking at me. Purple cat, what do you see? Uh-oh, I see Christina looking at me. Christina, take it out.
All right, thank you, Kofi. So Kofi had both steady beat and rhythm. When we say purple cat, we've got that rhythm in there, and both are so important for children. And we can play listening games using those rhythms to help us tune into the sounds of language. So playing musical games where we have to listen is a lot of fun, and it helps us tune into new words as we're learning them. So I have another animal friend to help us with this today. His name is Mr. Frog. And before we learn his game, let's just listen to see what sound he makes. So let's be very quiet, and we're going to listen to Mr. Frog. Here he comes. Mr. Frog can say lots of things. One thing that he can say is, hello. Hello. Can you echo after Mr. Frog? Let's try it together. Hello. Hello. Tap it on your head. Hello. Hello. Tap it on your knees. Hello. Hello. So we had hello. 2 taps for hello. Now Mr. Frog can also say stop. Let's echo after him. Are we ready? Stop. 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 Good job. All right, there's one more thing that Mr. Frog knows how to say. He can also say, touch your toes. So I'm going to stand up for this one. Mr. Frog can say, touch your toes. Touch your toes. Touch your toes. Touch your toes. Let's count how many sounds we hear. Touch your toes. 3 sounds. Okay, so for this listening game, we have to be really careful listeners to see if he says stop. That's one sound. Hello. That's two sounds. Or touch your toes. That's three sounds. All right, so let's play. Get those feet marching and echo after me. Here we go. Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Again, hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? And Mr. Frog says, what did you hear? Did you hear hello? Let's echo. Hello. 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 Good job. All right, this time Mr. Frog is going to give us a different rhythm. So we're going to gallop. So find a space around you where you can gallop safely. And we're going to do this long, short rhythm. All right, here we go. Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Again, hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? And Mr. Frog says, what did he say? Touch your toes. Touch your toes. Touch your toes. Touch your toes. Okay, last time. This time Mr. Frog is going to go really, really fast. So get your running feet. Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? Hey, Mr. Frog, what do you say? And Mr. Frog says, stop. Good listening. Stop. 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 Mr. Frog says, sit down. All right. Well, Mr. Frog loves to play in the rain and in the puddles. So the next thing that I'm going to share with you is a book about a rainy day. And one of my favorite things to do when I read a book, you shared all those great books that you like in your families. And I love to introduce a story with a song. And the easiest way to do that is to add your own words to simple songs that you already know. You can make up your own songs. So here in our book, Rain Play, Mr. Frog would love it because it's a rainy, wet day. And so we're going to figure out how we can sing about playing in the rain. The first thing we need to decide is what you might wear in the rain. If you want to enter your thoughts in the chat, you can certainly do that. So let's think, what are some things we might have to wear if we go out and play in the rain? Let me see. I think maybe, some boots, a raincoat, a hat. I think we might need an umbrella too. Of course, yellow rain boots, those are the best ones. And once we get all of our rain stuff on, I wonder what we'll do when we go out and play in the rain. What would be fun to do in the rain? You can enter your ideas in the chat too. And we can add it to our song. So how do we play in the rain? Ooh, jump in the puddles. I see squish the mud. That's always really fun. Those are things I like to do too. We like to splash and jump. Okay, I think we have some great words for our song. So we can do this standing or sitting. I'm going to sit down for the first part, and we're just going to add words to a simple song we already know. So get your boots. This is the way we wear our boots, wear our boots, wear our boots. This is the way we wear our boots when it's raining outside. Get your coat. This is the way we wear our coat, wear wear our coat, wear our coat. This is the way we wear our coat when it's raining outside. We better get our hats. This is the way we wear our hats, wear our hats, wear our hats. This is the way we wear our hats when it's raining outside. And of course we need our umbrella. Umbrella is a hard word to fit into a song, but I think we can do it. This is the way we put up umbrellas, put up umbrellas, put up umbrellas. This is the way we put up umbrellas when it's raining outside. And of course, now we have to go out and play. So I'm going to take your ideas. I'm going to stand up so we can jump in some puddles. Do you see your puddle? Let's do it. This is the way we jump in puddles, jump in puddles, jump in puddles. This is the way we jump in puddles when it's raining outside. And I like the idea of squishing in the mud. So let's squish some mud. This is the way we squish the mud, squish the mud, squish the mud. This is the way we squish the mud when it's raining outside. Excellent, so much fun. So we know all those things that we can do in the rain. And then when we get to those parts in the story where we see children doing the same thing, we can add those words to our song. So here's someone in the book who's jumping in the puddles. So we can sing, this is the way we jump in puddles, jump in puddles, jump in puddles, just like our friends in the book. All right, well, thanks for playing in the rain with me. And I'm going to turn it over to Kofi.
Oh, Christina, all too soon. You know, everything that starts have to end. Oh, wow. Well, it's okay. I have a very wonderful goodbye song to share with everyone. Okay, so, let's see. How do we say goodbye in different languages? I'm going to say, oh, you have your steady beat. Ready? You have your steady beat? Okay, here we go. Come on, everybody, let's sing goodbye. Come on, everybody, let's sing goodbye. Come on, everybody, let's sing goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Oh, I see ciao. Come on, everybody, let's sing ciao, ciao. Come on, everybody, let's sing ciao, ciao. Come on, everybody, let's sing ciao, 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 ciao. Oh, we can also wiggle, wiggle, adios. Come on, everybody, wiggle, wiggle, adios. Come on, everybody, wiggle, wiggle, adieu. Come on, everybody, wiggle, wiggle, adieu, 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 adieu. Namaste. Come on, everybody, rub your hands. Namaste. Come on, everybody, rub your hands. Namaste. Come on, everybody, rub your hands. Namaste. 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 And then, of course, how about something that you learned growing up? So, in my language of Akan, atu is to hug, right? So, awa, atu. That means I'm ready to hug goodbye. You can also do the same for welcome, actually. All right, so here we go. It's very easy, steady beat, steady beat. Awa, 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 atu, 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 awa, atu. Want to try with me? Okay, here we go. Awa, 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 atu, 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 awa, atu. There's a fun way of doing that. So I'm going to play my drum so you can hug somebody who's close to you, okay? Here we go. Awa, 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 atu, 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 awa, atu. One more time. Awa, awa, awa. Hug yourself. Atu, 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 awa, atu. Give someone a big hug, a big hug, a big hug, a big hug. Wonderful. And just like that, with a steady beat, you can still do the rhythm. Awa, 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 atu, 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 awa, atu. Thank you. And I'm going to hand it over to Jennifer.
Thank you so much, Kofi and Christina, for sharing. And thank you all for participating with us today. We hope that you enjoyed today's webinar and will stay connected with us. And there's several ways that you can do this. If you're interested in seeing more of what our artists shared today, we encourage you to visit our Parents Resources page, and you'll see the link for that page on the screen. We also highlight many of our resources and other resources on our Twitter at wolftrap_edu, so you can also follow us there. If you live in the DC metro area or plan to visit here during the summer, we invite you to come to Children's Theater in the Woods. Wolf Trap recently announced the first set of summer performances for our 50th anniversary season. We're so excited to share that Children's Theater in the Woods will be back with a new slate of live and socially distanced performances from many award-winning children's artists beginning this July. This year, our performances will take place on Wolf Trap's Feline Center stage, which is a beautiful outdoor amphitheater. It's actually in the picture right behind me and on the screen, and it's located in the nation's only national park for the performing arts. So mark your calendars for May 7th at 10 a.m. when these performances go on sale for the public. You can also view a full calendar at wolftrap.org. We also invite you to attend our next webinar, that's Family Dance Night. It is scheduled for May 18th at 6 p.m. and that's Eastern Standard Time. We're dropping a link in the chat so you can register for that today. We hope that you'll join us there. We're also dropping one more thing in the chat today. It's a short survey. So please copy and paste the link into your browser and give us your feedback on your experience today. We'd love to hear from you. Lastly, as I shared in the introduction, we are hosting a post-event discussion for educators from 6:30 to 7. And parents and caregivers or other family members, you are welcome to listen in too, but please note this session is intended specially for adults rather than children. So children, it's now time to say goodbye and thank you. We had such a great time singing and dancing with you tonight. And as you can see, our friend Wolfie Jr. also wanted to say goodbye to you. So he's waving to you now. We hope to see you next time and take care. Adults, we're now going to take a short break and we'll begin the next session for educators in 2 minutes. So thank you again. Bye-bye. Well, welcome back, everyone. And we were so happy to be joined by so many families during the last half hour, but by so many teachers, administrators, and teaching artists from across the country. And this time is especially for you. Christina and Kofi are going to talk about how you can utilize the experiences and strategies they just shared in the classroom. As they present today, we encourage you to share your ideas, your thoughts, and your questions in the chat so that we can all learn from each other. So Christina, I'll turn it back over to you to kick us off.
Great. Thanks so much, Jennifer. Yes, educators, we are so excited to unpack that workshop. We squeezed a lot into that half an hour and it went really, really quickly. It was like over in a snap. But we're going to look at some of those musical elements that we talked about and that we modeled throughout the workshop and see how it would apply in a strategy. So as we talk, start to think for yourself about how you would apply these strategies and these music elements in a classroom setting. So when you have a group of children and you've got learning goals to address. We're also going to think about how these music strategies support growth across developmental domains. So we'll take a look at each music element and see where it fits in to different learning categories as we go. And at the end, we'll have time for some questions and answers. So throughout our conversation, Kofi and I are going to unpack for a little bit, but please put your questions in the chat and our Wolf Trap staff will be there answering, and at the end we can address some of those questions too. So please keep that chat active, share ideas. If there's anything that sparks something that you've done in the classroom that's been successful, this is a great time to share that with your colleagues. All right, so we're going to start by looking at steady beat. We talked about that a lot during the workshop. So steady beat is so essential to cognitive development for young children. So looking at the math area, it supports one-to-one correspondence. So children that maintain a steady beat easily have an easier time with that counting. And really important aspect of steady beat is that it's a focusing tool. So in a classroom setting where you have a lot of children and you need to get everybody united and sort of focused, that steady beat is a great tool to help bring everyone together. If you think about like a stadium where everyone's clapping at the same time, imagine how that could work in a classroom for you. So that focus and attention is really important. And I mentioned in the workshop that steady beat is connected to reading and speaking fluency. So being able to move through language fluently. And of course, we feel that in our body through our motor skills. So I'm going to turn it over to Kofi to let him talk a little bit about the intentional use of steady beat that he incorporated in his songs that he modeled for us today.
Thank you, Christina. So again, you saw that right at the bat, just a very nice and controlled way of giving the beat, the steady beat. In the first song, I mean, especially in the first song that I sing, hey, hey, look at me, I am singing, can you see? Just very, very easy, even pause the same, right? Hey, hey, look at me, I am walking, can't you see? And as you walk, it's the same. I am walking, can't you see? And walk, and walk, and walk. And it also appeared in two-way, right? So two-way, very much two-way, two-way, very much two-way. Very much two-way, very much two-way. And in this song, you could actually maintain, maybe a slower pace for the, and then when you go to the lower sound, very much two-way, very much two-way. And then you speed up the first part, two-way, very much two-way. And I did the same thing for Brown Bear, where we're just doing brown bear, what do you see? So throughout, you saw that, and I know Christina has also is going to talk about how she used steady beat, and then we'll come back to talk about rhythm. Christina?
Thank you, Kofi. So the songs that I use, the I can clap and you can too, I usually use right at the beginning as a welcome to the session that I'm leading. It's sort of a nice transition song. That steady beat is a really good tool for transitioning to and from different parts of your day because it brings that focus. And I'm seeing some great things in the chat too about that self-regulation. So as kids maybe are coming from free play and then they need to regulate to get into a group environment, that steady beat is a way to help them do that, which is really important. And several are mentioning comforting and calming, that sort of predictable pattern that comes with steady beat that's reassuring to us physically and emotionally, which is really great. I just want to mention I used Mr. Frog too, which has that nice steady beat to begin with. And it has that predictable pattern to it too, which is part of that listening game, is you sort of know where that steady beat is going to come. It's that even pulse that you feel throughout the song. And just as a side note for educators, I have my fancy instrument here, but sometimes I use a drum, it's Mr. Drum, or it could be, you know, hey, wooden spoon, what do you say? So you can use this song and use any instrument that you have. So I have an egg shaker, hey, shaky egg, what do you say? And notice that with the shaking instruments, I'm tapping to feel that steady beat. So think about all the instruments that you have in your room that you maybe aren't using, and you can use them to model steady beat through that Mr. Frog framework. Great, so we're going to move on to rhythm. So if steady beat is an even pulse in which everything is exactly the same, rhythm is a combination of sort of long and short. And as it says right there in the STEM learning, it's patterns of long and short. So with Mr. Frog, he says, touch your toes, short, short, long, short, short, long. That's rhythm. And so rhythm is really important. I'm not going to cover every point on here, but for the sake of language, it helps us explore syllables, the flow and expression of language, and really being able to hear the different parts of the word and the rhythm of different words. And listening and communication is a big part of that. And another really fun thing to explore with rhythm is all those motor skills development. So I did some galloping, but all those gross motor skills have different rhythms. So swaying has a different rhythm than skipping, than marching. So thinking about shaking up the rhythms to help develop that sense of physical movement is important. And Kofi did such a nice job of modeling syllable expression through rhythm. So you want to talk about that a little bit, Kofi?
Sure, Christina. And so, you know, again, syllables expression is a very, you know, easy way of exploring rhythm. Okay, so because when you begin to clap the words in a simple song like brown bear, what do you see? What do you see? All right. So you see those uneven notes, right? Uneven notes, short and long. Or hey, hey, look at me. I am singing. Can you? Right. So you know it's very and both of these, the steady beat and rhythm, both are important for again developing fluency. Also, these simple songs help with really being able to read, and not just read in terms of literature, but also read music when in case come to that. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, thanks. I just want to point out in the chat, a couple of teachers were talking about using the syllable exploration for students' names. And I often do that. I'll have them introduce themselves to Mr. Frog or whatever instrument, and it's a great way to practice that. And the way that Kofi modeled it too is a great way to help children explore the syllables in their names. So that's great advice from teachers. Thank you. So pitch and melody, we're kind of lumping these two in together. So pitch is low or high. So Kofi had his little xylophone there to show pitch from low to high. So that's what we're talking about. And then when you string those pitches together, you get a melody. So if we have middle, high, and low, when we put them together, we have a melody. So it's a string of pitches that we have. And when we compare and contrast pitches and melodies, we're building on that STEM thinking around really using all of our senses to compare and contrast. But the big thing around melody and pitch is that it has an emotional connection. So if you think of movie sounds or the background music that you'd hear in a music, it evokes emotion, right? So we respond to that emotionally. And so we can think about melodies and how they sort of evoke a feeling, a playfulness of playing in the rain or other emotions. It might be a sad song for a story. So we can think about choosing melodies that reflect the emotion. And of course, pitch is so connected to the inflection that we use when we speak, and that's really important for young language learners to be able to identify what they're hearing in the language. So the more we can explore pitch and melody, the more helpful that is. And I noticed a few people in the chat were talking about Kofi's amazing, beautiful head voice and singing in his falsetto, and there's a very intentional reason why we do that for young children, and Kofi models it so well. So Kofi, tell us a little bit about your singing.
Sure. So here's my speaking voice, but with working with children, it's important to pitch in a way that children, with their very delicate voices, vocal cords could pick up. All right. So children, as you know, have these very delicate vocal cords, and you don't want to stretch it so low that we destroy them even before they begin using them. So we want to pitch it where they are, and usually this is very helpful. The middle C is okay even for adults and for children too. So, la, so. So that middle C is really important. And the benefits really of pitching and singing in the head voice for children especially is again for them to be able to harness their confidence, right? And then when they come to really singing, they sing, with expression, right? The fullness of it, because if no one destroys their voice and allow them to grow by pitching where they are, the benefits are really, really a lot. So I encourage you, adults, parents, teachers, educators, teaching artists, especially the male ones, to try and pitch, in the head voice. All right.
Thank you, Kofi. I just wanted to throw out one more idea for pitch. Pitch is a little abstract for children. It's when we talk about low, sometimes we use that word for quiet sometimes. It can be a little confusing for children. So one way I make that a little bit more concrete with children, just to give you a tool. I have this, it's really not fancy. It's just a piece of foam board. And I drew some lines for low, middle, high. And as Kofi said, I aim for like middle C, G, and C, roughly. It doesn't have to be perfect. And if you don't consider yourself a strong singer, don't worry too much. Just, kind of be in a children's range, low, somewhere in the middle, somewhere high. It's okay. But then I just have these Velcro dots to stick on there. And then children can create simple melodies here too. So I'm looking at it backwards, but high, middle, low, low, Miss Christina could be a way to make up songs, and you can move them around. And this just makes it a little bit more clear for children that's low and high and in the middle. And it's also a graphing skill. So it's building some of those STEM skills along the way. Just a little food for thought on how you could build those pitch.
And this xylophone also really is very, very helpful as well, because you can take off some of the bars to concentrate on what you want, right? So if you are able to guide them to go up and down, and if you just want to use maybe just 2 bars, all you have to do is just take off the rest so the kids can see. And it's wonderful, it's been very helpful to me, so try it. All right.
Good. Yeah, Amy shared an idea about using a cookie sheet with magnets to do low, middle, high too, and so many fun ideas. That's great. So our last music element that we're going to talk about, and we're certainly not being thorough today, we are just picking things that we really highlighted in the family workshop today. So there's more that we haven't quite covered, but we're going to end with songs. They're the ones that we've used most often in the classroom. Most preschool teachers feel pretty comfortable singing lots of songs, but we can be really intentional about how we choose to use them and about how we think about what they incorporate. So songs are really putting all these pieces together. So songs will have a steady beat as their foundation. The words will fall into rhythms that we can pull out, and those rhythms usually have patterns. And the songs themselves have patterns. So if you think of a song like, Mary had a little lamb, little lamb, little lamb, Mary had a little lamb. Let me get a new one. Its fleece was white as snow. There's a structure to it that we can point out. We can find the pattern in that. But the advantage for us as educators is that the simplicity of children's songs and their structure lets us sort of zip songs or words in and zip words out according to what we're trying to teach. So we can use the lyrics in songs to help us address content, and we can make up our own lyrics according to what we're trying to teach. So just where songs fit in are developmental domains, patterning for sure, and then content exploration if we're looking at STEM or any other content. For social emotional learning, again, there's just that participating in a group experience is a really important part of singing songs together. It's a great social experience. For language and literacy, songs and the lyrics in songs are amazing opportunities to build vocabulary because the children repeat those words over and over and over. It's why songs get stuck in our head. But then that vocabulary can get stuck in their head too, and we can add words to help them make meaning of new vocabulary. Children can also find the rhyming words in songs, and we all know that as educators, but you can be really intentional and playful with how you might use song structures to introduce rhyming words. And then, of course, choral speaking and singing is such an important part of language development, and songs just naturally embed that. We haven't talked much about fine motor skills, but finger plays, those kinds of songs are great ways to help address those fine motor skills. So if you notice that kids need some development in those fine motor skills, think of familiar songs that you have, even like Kofi's Awa Atu could be done just with fingers, right? So we can turn songs into finger plays to help them develop that fine motor as well as their gross motor. And I love that Kofi brought in songs from his childhood and songs that are culturally important to him. And so, Kofi, can you talk a little bit more? I know we've had a lot of questions and a lot of interest in those songs you introduced. So can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yes, and I just find it so, exciting and also very important to bring who you are, to these children, because of course they are a reflection of who we are as well. And so you realize that the song that we grew up with, wherever we came from as children, they're the same thing. They're full of repetition, right? And they use maybe 2 or 3 notes only. And those are the songs that, we don't want to forget about, right? Like Tuwe Tuwe or Che Che Kule or Awa Awa Atu, right? You see the repetition. It's Awa Awa Awa. Atu, 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 awa, atu. The words are very few, but then you're repeating them. And then the important thing here also is to look at the motif, right? The motif right there. Awa, 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 atu, 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 awa, atu. So it helps you, children are able to see where the phrasing is, right? Very simple. And then there is when they can also find out those rhyming words, right? Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. And so I encourage everyone to look at some of the songs that you grew up with and share with these kids, either from home or in school, because like I said, they do the same things. All right, they use simple notes. 2, 3 notes to help children just jump along, and it also helps them when they come to reading those notes, musical notes, staff notations. So easy when they get there. Okay, all right.
So I just have one more food for thought. So I threw up here on the slide some songs that I use often for what we call zipper songs, which is where you zip out the original words and you zip in your new words depending on what you're trying to teach. And these are familiar songs for most of us, but I would also really encourage you to think about, as Kofi said, songs that will not be on this list that you grew up with, songs from different cultures, songs with different languages. They're all great. So please add to this list. This is just sort of a beginner list. And if you look at this as a book cover that I've used to model this before, it's just a book called Scoot. It takes place at the pond, and you can see there's different animals there. So your lesson might be about animal traits, or it might be about the nature, the trees and the water and the grass that you might find. It might be how the animals move, and there's so many movement words in this book. And so if your goal is to help set the scene for a book about the pond, you might think of one of these songs that you can zip words out of easily and zip new words in about the pond. So it's just a little food for thought for you, a little fun game as educators that you can continue to think about. If you have any great ideas, share them in the chat. But we are going to open for questions at this time. So I know that a bunch of questions came up in the chat. I'm going to turn to Jennifer for some help to pull out any that I probably missed. So
yeah, thanks, Christina. And thank you all for that rich conversation in chat. I've been following. It's been really interesting. So please go ahead and enter any questions that you have in the chat now. Kofi, we did have a couple questions for you. If you could talk a little bit about the origins of Awa Atu and Tue Tue, and sort of a little bit of your background and how you came to know those songs. And also, do you know the musical notation for those, or is a way to find them? I know we have Awa Atu on our website, education.wolftruck.org, so folks can find it there, but if you have any advice there.
Thank you. Yeah. So Awa Atu is actually came out like almost like a religious song where you welcome, it's a welcome song, right? So you welcome everybody, together, come, my friends, come, my family, come over, come, say like, come to the Lord, come to God, that sort of thing. Welcome, right? And that's how it started. But then Atu itself is to hug. But this song, Awa, 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 it's sung all over the place as a welcome song. But as Christina was saying, as a zipper song, you just take it away and use it as a goodbye song. It's the same thing, because you are still, saying goodbye with a hug, right? The same thing. Awa, Awa is just, I'm ready. Atu is a hug. So I'm ready to give you a welcome hug or a goodbye hug. For Tue Tue, like I said, Tue Tue is something that is one of the songs that's on YouTube. It's part of the world music thing. High schoolers, middle schoolers, kindergarten, preschool, they all use it. And the notation will be on YouTube as well. If you want the notation, the music notation for that, just go Google it. Go to YouTube and search for it. Again, it was just a rhythmic game, right? That everybody plays. And it's about how you can make different movements with it, right? So, like I said, if you're picking up mangoes or oranges, Tue Tue, very much Tue Tue. If you are digging, you are planting, then the motion, right? Tue Tue, very much Tue Tue. In that culture, usually they sing songs to make them feel so good, even when you're working. So work is fun. And then what was the last one? Awa Awa to Tue Tue.
Tue Tue. And the other question was about, it's a Kan language, right? From Ghana?
Oh yes, it's a Kan language, yes.
Yeah.
It's a Kan language.
Yeah,
Akan, under Akan you have three Fanti, right? All right.
Wonderful. And then we had some fascination with the star bell. Where did you get that? What's it called?
If you go to Bella Luna Toys, Bella Luna, if you just search Bella Luna, Bella Luna, Luna, Bella Luna Toys, and it's called a music chime or something like that. Either music chime wand.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you all so much. I think we're coming now at the end of today's session. We hope that you will come to our next webinar. Again, my colleagues are going to drop the link to that in the where you can register. Again, that's on May 18th at 6 p.m. And we will follow the same format for that webinar. We'll have this first half hour for families, and then the second hour will be focused on educators. So we hope that you'll join us there. We also hope that you will complete a short survey. It's the same survey we dropped earlier, but if you didn't catch it then, we're going to drop it again into the chat. So please give us your feedback, and we really take it to heart and use it to improve our work moving forward. But a huge thank you to Kofi and Christina for sharing their expertise and their talents with us today. And thank you so much to all of you for joining us. We hope that you stay well and take care. Thank you again. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Adios.